It was John Howard who expressed what I believe is at the core of being a Liberal. Australian liberalism, he said, has always been evolving and developing. It always will be.
We are a law-abiding people, then we will act according to the law. I will not condone.
This life's not meant to be easy, but take courage, child, for it can be delightful.
We are constantly relating liberalism's enduring values to the circumstances of our own time, which includes promoting fairness and a genuine sense of community throughout Australian society. The Liberal tradition has always understood that. What do our times demand, we must always ask ourselves. It's a question before all of us who care about Australia and care for Australians, no matter what their background. It was a question at the fore of my mind when I wrote a book on constitutional recognition called Bragg. Bragg in the Darugha language of the Yuin people means tomorrow. Liberals have always been about tomorrow, making it better than today, not for some, but for all of us. Our focus isn't on regrets about the past or even laments about the present, though we might have a few. But we are about how can we shape the future? Tomorrow. We've always been about tomorrow. Our party's founder, Robert Menzies, extended the vote to Aboriginal Australians, and he created AATSIS, that great national treasure which houses the records of Indigenous language, cultural artefacts and history. The 1967 referendum was proudly brought to a successful outcome by his successor Harold Holt. That referendum was a before and after moment in Australia's history. It was a necessary forerunner to historic moments to come, such as Malcolm Fraser legislating land rights in 1976. So when I think about what it means to be a Liberal, to guide us through this referendum, I think of three people who have led the way. The first was Billy Wentworth, that incorrigible backbencher who went on to become Australia's first Minister for Aboriginal Affairs under John Gorton. He was a man ahead of his time and guided by a deep sense of fairness and justice. Like few others, he saw the future and he advocated for an Aboriginal man seeking Senate pre-selection. That man's name was Neville Bonner. Every Australian child should know the name and story of Bonner. He is a great Australian hero. A Darugha man born beneath a palm tree and who didn't finish school, who hit the road with a swag at the age of 15, and who despite the adversity he faced in his life, he never ever gave up on our shared democratic project. When he arrived in Canberra in mid-1971, Bonner had just $5 in his pocket and was wearing his only suit. But he held within him something more enduring, belief. Entering the Senate for the first time, he recounted hearing the voice of his late grandfather, who said, "It's all right now, boy. You are finally in the Council of the Australian Elders. Everything now is going to be all right." Many would follow Neville's path, one of whom is a man I call a friend, Ken Wyatt. Ken was one of 10 children. Born into such poverty, there wasn't even a guarantee of a Christmas present. And there were times when meals consisted of the rabbits hunted and caught by his father. And the decisions made about Ken's life, from school uniforms to his pocket money, weren't made at home. Instead, they were decisions of the Native Welfare Department. In time, Ken became a teacher, an educational leader, and then a candidate for public office. And a man of many firsts, the first Indigenous man elected to the House of Representatives and appointed to the ministry and subsequently the cabinet. Ken is a man of deep grace and integrity, a son of this party and a man of great strength and humility. We can learn so much from him and other Liberals who have sought to give voice to those without it. We are the party of opportunity, no matter who you are. This time it's about hearing from the grassroots and making better decisions in each community. We've always believed in the grassroots. So as Liberals, we must again look to tomorrow and the shared future we want to see for all the people of our great country.
Authorised by Kay Carnell, Liberals for Yes, Canberra.